as entrepreneurs, we want to make that dent in the universe. And the only way we can do it is we've got to attract the right clients to us and serve them extremely well. Well, most of us feel we're doing a good job. We've nailed that client experience, but we are now ready to scale up even more and have more of the right clients. Well, you're in luck. I got a remarkable young man who is one of the top marketing gurus out there. I have been following him on video and books. Matter of fact, he and I were just at Joe Polish's Genius Network meeting. He was so packed, I never got a chance to talk to him, and then I ran into him at the airport, and we booked this right away. I wouldn't let him go, even while he was eating dinner. It's that important that you pay attention to this, because he has made online marketing, really any marketing, so simple that you are going to be able to really attract that steady stream of new clients, new customers, no matter what you do. I'm John Bowen. You are at AES Nation. It's all about accelerating your success. Stay tuned. You want to meet Russell Brunson. It's going to be well worth it.
Ordinary success? No way. You want amazing, remarkable, exceptional breakthroughs. Dig deep. Think bold, drive hard, watch yourself soar beyond your dreams. AESNation.com.
I am excited to have you here. You heard that introduction, and you know that I did accost you at the airport. But thank you for joining. I really wanted to share you with our audience, because you are making a lot of things happening, and when we'll talk about your book along the way, but I mean, when I got your book, I didn't know who you were. You were doing a great promotion on this. We know a lot of the same people, but I was reading the book and it was like, wow, you just get marketing and lay it out so that guys like me can understand it instantly. So congratulations on a great book.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We put a lot of time and effort into it, and glad you liked it.
Yeah, I want to share some of the secrets, because there are a lot of things that you're doing that I'm now tweaking some of my things that were already working well that are even getting better. But, you know, Russell, one of the things I always like to do is start with the backstory. And I know a little bit about it because of the book, but, you know, share with me, you know, how did you get, you know, at a relatively young age? I mean, you are just knocking it out of the park, and you're making a huge difference with fellow entrepreneurs, helping them be more successful. You know, how did you get to this online stuff here?
Yeah, well, first off, it's been an amazing journey that I never would have dreamt was ever going to happen. Had a chance to meet some of the most amazing people along the way, and serve entrepreneurs who are changing the world. And it's just been awesome. Like, I couldn't have hoped or prayed for anything better. But for me, it's kind of funny, and people always laugh when I tell this, but it started for me when I think I was 12 or 13 years old at the time, and my dad was up late watching the news, and usually he makes me go to bed, but for some reason that night he didn't, and I was laying there on the couch just watching TV with him, and then like the news ended, and then like I think MASH came on, and it was playing the MASH music, and he didn't say anything again. Then MASH ended, and I was like, I can't believe you didn't make me go to bed yet. And then this infomercial came on with this guy named Don Dupree, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, but he was on there talking about how he's making money with tiny little classified ads, and he's talking about how, like, I remember he told the story that I ran this ad in a newspaper and made $30, and I told my family, and they all made fun of me. He said, so I took that same ad and I put it in 1,000 newspapers and I made $30,000. And I'm like this young kid sitting there, and like it made sense to me. I was like, it was so clear I couldn't even like explain it. And I'm looking at my dad like, Dad, are you not seeing what he's talking about? Like, we need to get this. My dad kind of laughed, and I couldn't. I wrote the 1-800 number down on my paper, and I was like, we need to buy that. But I didn't have the $40 that you needed to buy it. So I asked him for it, and he said, no, you got to go work for it if you want it. And so I spent the next month, mowing lawns and doing yard work till I got $40, and I went and I bought that. In fact, I still have it. I can see it right from here on my shelf. Way back then, and that was like my introduction to direct response marketing. And it was just, it was so cool. And I didn't have the money at the time to even buy a classified ad, so I couldn't even run a classified ad. But a little while later, my mom took me to the grocery store, and I saw a small business opportunity magazine and had all these colors and stuff on. So she bought me that magazine, and inside there were like hundreds and hundreds of ads for every like how to make money thing in the world. So I was on there on my parents' phone, calling them all up and being like, hey, can you send me your free info kit? And soon I was getting so much mail, like junk mail from all these like mail order places that it wouldn't even physically fit in the mailbox in my parents' house. And so like the mailman would come knock on the door and hand them the stack of junk mail. And then they'd give it to me, and I'd go in my room and I would just read these sales letters at night. And every single one I knew was like it, like I'm gonna be a millionaire if I could just like pay for postage, or if I could just do, and I couldn't do any of them. But I just remember reading that and learning that when I was 13, 14 years old. And then I got into sports and girls and kind of forgot about all that kind of stuff. And I wrestled in high school. I was a state champ and an All-American. I went to Boise State to wrestle. And one day I just met my wife. We were going to get married, and I realized I was broke, and I was sitting there like thinking, how am I going to support her while I'm trying to wrestle? And there was this little infomercial that came on TV. There's this guy down at a Holiday Inn talking about how you can get rich on the internet. And I was like, I am in. So I went to the Holiday Inn, and this guy started talking about all these concepts, and it was like the same thing that I learned from direct mail, except for he was doing it with email. And that was it.
It was meant to be here, Russell.
Yeah. Everything I learned 10 years earlier, it was back in my forefront, and that began this journey that's been going on now for about 12 years of figuring out how to sell stuff online. And it's just been it's been the most amazing journey
Well, you know what I like, Russell, is that you are really so focused and kind of, I can see from just knowing you now a little bit, and the books and the videos and so on, that you really enjoy reverse engineering all this stuff and making it work and work effectively, and then sharing it. And I want to walk you through a couple of the concepts that you talk about in the book. And let's start with the secret formula, because I mean, that sounds like a great place to start. I mean, let's not waste anybody's time at all. What is a secret formula?
All right. Well, if you're reading the book, here's the picture for those who are on the video, if you can see it. That is the secret formula. So everything I do is always sketched out, because I'm like not like a super technical guy. I'm like, use my whiteboards. I'm a visual guy. Like someone explaining something and I have to whiteboard. I'm like, oh, that's how it works.
Well, and I'm going to encourage, we're going to go to the book, but I got to tell you, Russell, your drawings are phenomenal. I mean, it brings a book alive, and it's so sometimes this stuff is esoteric. People get caught up, and you make that really, most of marketing is relatively simple. I mean, the secret formula is pretty simple.
Yeah. It really is. And so, again, there's kind of 4 steps here. It's who, where, bait, and result. So there it is, and I'll kind of walk through. The first step with any company, and I don't think most company business owners think through this initially, unfortunately, but the first step is like, who is it you actually want to serve? And when I got started in my business, I never thought through that. I just started selling stuff as fast as I could because people were buying it. And one day I woke up and I had a whole bunch of customers that I didn't like, and I didn't want to talk to them or spend time with them, and I was miserable. And about 3 years ago, we sat down and said, look, let's, like, who do we want to serve? Like, who inspires us? Who do we want to actually work with? And we sat down and said, we want to work with entrepreneurs who are making, for me, it was between $3 and $10 million a year. And so we wrote that down. And then, so now we knew like who we wanted to serve. And the next question is like, what kind of bait could I create that would get that person excited, make them come to me, right? Mm-hmm. And so at the time, I don't know if I have one right here or not, we created this book called 108 Proven Split Test Winners. And it was all of the split testing we'd done across all of our companies, my supplement companies and some of my other coaching companies, info product companies. It was all the split testing results. And I was thinking, like, if I gave that to like one of my old customers, they wouldn't even know what a split test was, and they'd probably just throw it away. But like my dream customer, someone who knew the value of that, would look at that and just be like, I will do anything to have that thing. And so we made this book. It's like 144 pages of all my split tests. And instead of selling it, we just gave away for free. We charged shipping and handling. We put it out there. And what happened was amazing. In the next 12 months, we sold 10,000 copies of that book. And the people who bought that book were all people who had big businesses, who were entrepreneurs, who were like my dream customers. And from those 10,000 people, we actually filled up 2 mastermind groups of 30 people each at $25,000 a head, and another coaching group at $12,000 a head of 150 people, which was like, now I was working with all my dream entrepreneurs, everyone who had businesses. They were like, it was perfect, but I had to create the right bait to attract my dream client. And I had to know who my dream client was, or else I couldn't do it. So that's kind of step 2. Step 1 is who is your dream client. Step 2 is what's the bait you're going to create. Third step is finding out, like, where are those people hanging out online? Where are they congregating? What Facebook groups are they in? What email lists are they on? You find out where they're at, and then you buy ads. You show them your bait. And after you have that customer, then you got to figure out like what's the end result? Like what do you want to do? Or what can you do for them? What's the best result you can give to someone? Because for me, like business isn't like so much about a product. A product is kind of a means to the end. The end is like the result they're coming to you with, right? Or coming to you for. Like they want, in my case, they want to be able to transform their business. They want to take it to the next level. Like that's the result. So I don't have a product for that, but I have a process, right? We've got our high-end coaching, we've got our mentoring. Like those things is where I'm trying to take someone to. And so I think it's really important also, especially as we get in deeper in the book into the funnels, like you're taking somebody up a process where you provide more and more value to them. And so it's really understanding what's the big results you want to get for them. And that's kind of the core basics of the secret formula. It's pretty simple.
Well, and it's such a powerful formula because, I mean, I don't care whether you're online or whether you're, offline, whatever you're doing, if you're providing, and really what we're all selling, and you said it well, Russell, is we're selling the results. I mean, and we got, who can we get the results for? And that's the who part. Once we get clear, who we want to serve and get that results, and then, okay, what will attract them, as you said, the bait, and then where do they hang out? Let's not make this any harder than it has to be, because, so often, I mean, and I'm saying this because I'm agreeing with you, because I've tried the hard way before, and you found out the simpler way earlier, but I mean, you run into, and I do a lot of coaching in financial services, and people tend to do shotgun approaches, and they get the wrong clients. They're really not delivering the results because they're not specialized, and they haven't really thought it through. And when you think through that whole process, it's a big deal.
Oh yeah, I wish somebody would grab me when I first got started and said, Russell, this is the secret formula. Like there was so much heartache, millions of dollars I wasted, like all sorts of stuff, just trying to figure that out. When you realize that, and you're like, oh, that's it. I look at every single company that we've either done or we've rolled out since we kind of identified that formula. It's not guesswork anymore. It's like, oh, that's who we want. This is what will attract them. That's where they're at, and here's where we're taking them. As soon as we know that, then everything else just becomes really, really simple.
This is, for all our fellow entrepreneurs listening and watching this, I mean, this is critical stuff. I mean, this stuff, but what do we all do as we get more and more successful? We complicate this. We get away from what's working, and we kind of line extend the who's, the baits, every part of it. And the more we can bring it down and be really focused and make sure we're getting the right people so that we can get the results that they're going to want. And then it becomes this ongoing basis. But what I love where you take it from there. Okay, so we got this process. We're really clear. And then what we all try to do, most of us as entrepreneurs, try to be brilliant. We're going to come up with a whole marketing scheme. And again, I like it. You don't waste any time, Russell. It's like, how can we go hack somebody? You call it funnel hacking, but how do we hack somebody who's actually already doing a great job with this group?
Yeah, I love that because I learned it originally from Tony Robbins. I don't know if I heard him or if he told me or something, but he said, look, if you want to achieve success in life, you got to model those who are already successful. I thought about things I'd done. Right? I was a wrestler, and I wasn't that good when I got started, but I wanted to be good. So my dad and I would go and we would find really good wrestlers, and we'd bring a video camera, and he would film them, and we go back and watch the matches, and we would practice those moves. That's how I became, going from a bad wrestler to being All-American to getting college scholarships and everything was that process. The same is true with funnels. Like as soon as I know, like this is the market I want to go after, here's where I'm going to take them. The reality is that I'm probably not the first person who has ever wanted to sell something to that market, and probably not same. I'm not the first person.
Well, and if you are, then it's probably not a good market too,
that's
either.
Usually a bad sign, not a good sign.
If nobody else is making money in it, it's a dangerous market to go in, at least diving in.
Oh, totally. So for me, it's like now that I know this is exactly secret formula's taken care of. Now I got to find out who's already figured this out, who's trailblazed it for me. I always say you can always tell who the pioneers are because they have arrows in their back and they're lying face down in the dirt, right? Like I don't want to be the pioneer. I don't want to be the guy dying. Okay, us entrepreneurs, we always want to change the world, but the problem is that most of us either run out of time or money before we ever get there. And so I don't want you guys to run out of time or money. Like I want you to be able to do your mission and be able to help serve and change the world in your way. And so what we do is we find someone who's already successful and we find a funnel. Okay, everyone has sales funnels. That's how you get someone from traffic to customer to here's the result we're giving someone. There's a process we're taking somebody. It's happening online and offline.
How do you hack it though? Because I mean, so I know, let's say somebody that I'm competing with in whether it's financial services or some type of B2B product or that. Okay, we're going after the same people. I know they're doing kind of the same results, and I'm starting to see some of the things, but I'm not real clear on their funnel.
So for me, like it's like secret shopping almost. I have a really good time. So the first step is I set up like an email address that's separate from my normal one that I can I want to see every communication that ever comes in, right? So I find their funnel and I go through the process. I go to the page, I give them the email address. I want to see
You're
every
gonna be a
email.
mystery shopper here.
Yeah, I mystery shop. And then I go to their website. I do what I say. Every good entrepreneur's got to be good at coming good at doing. You got to pull your wallet out, pull your credit out, and buy everything they have. Like I think I funnel hacked 8 different people yesterday, and then I record myself doing it. Like I click record on there's Camtasia or ScreenFlow, and I record the screen and I start buying their product, and I buy it really, really slow, and I watch the videos, and then every video that I see, I take that video and I send it to a website called rev.com, and for $1 a minute they'll transcribe that video. So I get
I love rev.com. I use that too. It's phenomenal. So you got this video, you know exactly, you got the transcript.
I'm taking screenshots of every page to see how they structure their offer, but I'm buying their products. So I want to see every single step in their funnel and get a really good glimpse of that's what they're doing to be successful, and how they're doing it, how they're positioning their offer, and what they're like when someone does buy, like what the actual deliverables are. I have people come to me all the time like, "Hey Russell, what should I create for my product?" I'm like, "I don't know, like go buy someone else's product and see what they deliver, because they figured out what that market wants, right?" Like if I was going to the weight loss market, I look at Beachbody and you see that they're shipping out packs of DVDs.
Yeah.
So I would make.
They're doing something well.
Yeah, just model what's already working. Like there's no reason why we need to be creative. You know, there's a point we can be creative, but it's not upfront, right? You be creative in your content, but not in how you structure those things. So I funnel hack and I just get a really good glimpse. And then after I have all those pages and everything, I go on my whiteboard back here and I just sketch out, okay, first page I need to have is this, second page is this, third page, and I kind of go through all the pages and I see that. And then I'd go through my emails as well and say, okay, then they send out 5 emails talking about this, and then 3 emails talking about this. And I just kind of diagram out exactly what these guys did. And now I have a blueprint. Now I'm not making up, you know, people, I always struggle with people like, what's your business plan? Like this is my business plan. I funnel hack someone. I have a blueprint of exactly what they've done to make multi-millions of dollars. And now I know what I need to recreate. And again, I'm not going to copy anything. Like I'm the most anti-copying guy on earth. But I'm modeling the framework, the layout, the price points, how they structure their offer, all those type of things, because that's like 90% of it. If you look at my split testing book, it's interesting. There was not a single split test in that book where we ever changed a sales video. It was always things we did around the page, like page layout, which a lot of people never caught that when they went through all 108 tests. There wasn't a single test that changed the sales video. Yet some of our tests, we had 200, 300, 400% increase in conversions. It was all structure. So the page structure and layout is as important, if not more so, than the actual like videos that's selling the thing. And so if I can model that initially, the structure and the layout, it gets me like 95% there. And that's called funnel hacking. And I would typically funnel hack 2 or 3 people, just because it's not good if you funnel hack someone who's broke, and sometimes you don't know. So
well, some people look like they're really successful. They're not, too.
Yeah, I like to have a couple different people to look at, and then from those 2 or 3 models, then I kind of build out what I think is going to be the perfect one. But I'm looking at emails, I'm listening to phone calls, I'm listening, if they get me direct mail, I'm looking at as much of the pictures as I can see, because all those little pieces are what makes them successful.
No, I love that. I mean, this is, because I thought I did reverse engineering, but you take it much farther than I do. I'm glad we're having this meeting for me, and for everybody else out there. I mean, this is, it's kind of, it's both simple to do this, but it takes a discipline to go through and really, lay it all out, spend a little money. I mean, it's not a huge amount of money. It's some of the cheapest market research you could ever do. And then, get it transcribed for $1 a minute. I mean, at rev.com, those are pretty simple stuff, but we don't do it. We all kind of think we're smart, and this is, get that framing. So we then, we've got the formula, we've got clarity of who we're marketing, the results, all of that. We now know a framework to make it happen. Okay, that's all great, Russell, but then you actually got to build this stuff. You got to have a systemic process to make it all work. How does that come together? Because this is, if we're going to have some big success, and you've done it in a number of different spaces, how do you do it?
Well, back in the day, what I would do is I'd call a meeting in here, and I'd bring my designers, my programmers, my developers, and a billion different people, and we'd spend months trying to then implement it, which was hard. One thing that we've done in our company that you know about is a tool we created called ClickFunnels. And the whole goal of ClickFunnels was to be able to take a blueprint like that and be able to build out a funnel really, really quickly. In fact, it's interesting now, like the process that used to take me, used to take my team of people about 2 months to do, I can usually do now in ClickFunnels in an afternoon by myself with no tech guys, no nerds, no anyone. And so we build it out in ClickFunnels. Now, typically there's a lot of different types of sales funnels, but I look at my business right now and I'd say 95% of my sales come from one of three types of sales funnels. All three you can build really easily in ClickFunnels. The first is what we call a tripwire funnel. So like for example, when you got my book, you went through my tripwire funnel, right? It was a free book. And people, my wife still tells me like, why did you give that book away for free? Like, we're gonna be broke. She doesn't understand it. I said, well, for every free book I gave away, I averaged $32 from the funnel. An immediate point of sale income. So I knew that every book I gave away made $32.
Let me just stop you here because this is really, Russell, a very common one. I was talking with Jeff Walker when he did his big launch, product formula launch, and everybody misses it. Or Brendan Bouchard, we were just with, and this tripwire is such a common thing, but people don't get it, and they go, "Geez, I don't want to spend that much money," and they don't understand the value of their clients. They haven't spent time really thinking through this process. So could you, as you're going through, just mention kind of, okay, you're making $33. Well, we're doing a little shorthand because you're giving away a book for free. How are you? Okay, this is where spouses kind of wonder what the heck's going on here.
So if and when you guys get this book, just like everything, buy it slowly. Like watch what I did because there's a whole method to my madness. So when you buy this book, first it's $7.95 shipping anywhere in the world. So by default, a lot of places I'm shipping is cost me $30 to ship out. So I lose money on every single book initially. Plus I have my ad costs and things like that. Right now we average between $10 and $15 to give away a book. So I'm in the hole already like $25 before. As soon as they buy the book.
I mean, everybody's listening to this and go, John, he said, this guy's brilliant. Okay, wait, come on, Russell, get to the brilliant part here.
All right, so the first thing we do is as soon as you buy the book, you put in your shipping address, step one, and then step two, it asks for your credit card. You put in your credit card, and then right before the submit button, there's this little block that says, hey, would you like the audiobook version of this? If you want our audiobook version for $37, we'll send you the audiobook version as well. Okay, right now, currently 22% of the people click on that, and during my launch, that equivalent to over $250,000 in sales. And that little tiny button says, yeah, send me the audiobook. So that's I call that an order form bump. So then the next page it says, hey, thanks so much for ordering this book. You're going to love it. A lot of people get this book and then they're confused. Like, hey, I got this book, but how do I actually get traffic to what I'm selling? Well, I happen to have a traffic course that we sell. It's $197, or I think it's $500. We'll give it to you for $197. But you got to buy it right now. You get this huge discount. And then I think 8.5% of people buy that at $200, which was another whatever that ended up being. That ended up being another huge hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah. And the next page said, hey, you got the book. You got my traffic product. A lot of people traffic comes to their site and they don't know how to sell it. So I want to give you guys access to my sales course. This can teach you how to actually sell on your websites. It's a $300 training course. It gives you all our scripts, all our videos, all everything, and we get a big percentage about that. And so when you look at the total cost, or the total profit for every book we gave away, we averaged $32 in revenue. And so what's cool is I know I can go to Facebook, I can go to Google, I can go to all these ad networks, and I can spend $10, $15, $20, up to $30 or more to advertise just to sell one book, and I'm still profitable. In fact, when we did our book launch, we paid affiliates $20 for every free book you give away, and they went crazy on it. It didn't cost me any money at all.
This is so important for everybody because if I forgot who said it. Somebody's got a famous quote that, if you can get the acquisition, if you know your lifetime value of your client and you can get that high enough, you don't have a competitor because you can outspend anybody on this traffic stuff. And I mean, that's where most of us are looking at you, Russell, and going, we're like your spouse. We're going, what the hell is he doing here? Okay, we went deep on Tripwire, but you said there were three. So what are the other ones?
Yeah. So that's Tripwire. Now, what's interesting, after you buy this book, 2 weeks later, I start sending you emails about a webinar that I have. And I put you onto a webinar funnel. And again, I won't walk through all of the pages of that, but we have a webinar funnel. And on my webinar, I sell a $1,000 product, and it does amazing. When we did this book launch, sold 26,000 copies. 2 weeks later, we did the webinar and did over $1 million in sales from the webinar, just from those leads that had gone from here to here. And so that was kind of the second one. And that's usually, if you're trying to sell something, from $500 up to $2,000 or $3,000, a webinar funnel is typically the right funnel for that. And then the last funnel that we take people to is my high ticket funnel. And that's where I sell my high end coaching, which goes from $12,000, $25,000 up to $100,000. And that's basically a coaching application they apply, and then we have the salesperson who then calls them and signs them up for the coaching program. And so those are our 3 funnels, and most successful businesses have at least one, some have 2, and most of my clients now all have 3 because that's what we focus on. Those 3 funnels in our company drive about 95% of all of our revenues.
That's great. And okay, so now I know I've got the marketing system, I've got the technology to capture those people and deliver, the results that you're doing. I need some traffic, Russell. I mean, I'm feeling like I'm ready to go. How do I do that?
Yeah, it's so the last step there is definitely like, how do we get people now into these funnels? We built the funnel out, we have the structure, everything's perfect, but how do we get people in? And so I always tell people, like, what if you went back to that guy that you funnel hacked initially? And what if you just called him up and you're like, hey man, I saw your funnel, it's awesome. I built something kind of similar. It's different, but it's similar. And I figure you're rich. Can you just, you don't need any more money. Do you mind just telling me all the websites you buy ads on? If you could do that, save me a ton of time. I'll just buy ads on those sites and it'll be awesome. Like, the person's not going to say yes to that, right? Most of the time. But what's cool is there's a whole bunch of like intelligent tools out there on the internet that'll give you all that info. So one of my favorites, there's a free version. It's at similarweb.com. And you go similarweb.com, and then it asks you for a website URL. So I just put in the website URL, the funnel I'm funnel hacking, and it'll go out there and it'll find out all sorts of stuff about that person's funnel. It shows me who are all the websites they buy traffic on. It'll show me what all their ads look like. It'll show me how long their ads have been running. It'll say, this ad we saw for 2 weeks and then disappeared, but this ad's been running for 3 years and it's still active. And it shows me every single thing about all the sites they're on, what the ads look like, everything. And now that I know that, I just model that. I go back to the same sites. I create ads that are similar. To kind of really get this, I had a mentor a long time ago when I was first trying to figure out traffic. I kept saying, I need to create traffic to my website. He said, no, Russell, you don't create traffic. He said, don't you understand? He said, traffic's there. People are already on Facebook. They're already on Google. Like, it's already there. There's streams of traffic. You just have to figure out like where your dream customer's at from the secret formula. Find out who those people are, take your bait, and just step in front of that traffic. And if you do, it'll just start coming to you. And so for me, I just find the people that are already successful in the markets I'm in. I use something like SimilarWeb. I find out where they're buying their ads on. I buy ads on the same sites, and instantly a percentage of the traffic that's currently going there starts coming over to my website as well.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm embarrassed. It took me 5 years to do about half of the things that you just told me in the last 20 minutes. So it is, I'm going to make everyone on my technology team for sure, marketing team, listen to this podcast. And hopefully everyone's getting a lot of pearls of wisdom. Let me go to this segment, Russell, which is the book of the day. And, we've been talking about the funnel. And what I'd like to do is let me pull up your website where you have it. And so I've got the .comsecretsbook.com. And I've got the page up there. We talked about it a little bit, but just give them, kind of why they want to go there and what's going to be in the book overall.
Yeah, definitely. So the book is, it looks awesome if you're watching the video. Just kidding. No, it's basically, I go over all the different sales funnels we use in our company. And I also give you all the sales scripts I use on every single page in the funnel, right? So I have a different script I use if it's a free plus shipping versus if it's a $100 product. I have a webinar script. I have high ticket sales script. All the scripts we use to sell inside of all these funnels. You get the scripts, you get the how they work, all that kind of stuff, and pretty much everything else. I mean, it's 10 years of my life's work in marketing all in here. And it's not like a book that's like a lot of marketing books that are like a huge sales page for something. Like, it's everything I have. I held nothing back.
I was amazed. Almost nobody puts in the scripts, and you put in the scripts and everything. I mean, it's a huge value. I mean, it's definitely worth more than free. Okay. Let's go to the next segment, which is the application of the day. And for your fellow entrepreneurs, Russell, what would you recommend for the app of the day?
Yeah, so my favorite app, it's almost embarrassing, but it's called tomorrow.do. And it's web-based, it's on my phone, it's on my iPad.
I'm gonna put it up there screen here. And it looks like a journal that says planning is a bummer. So
yeah, I'll just even show it on my phone so you can see it. So this
okay,
is
go ahead.
You can see right here. So it shows like, here's my to-do list today. And then over here, it shows my to-do list for tomorrow. And so it's just today and tomorrow. That's it. So when I wake up in the morning, I put all my to-dos in there, and I look at it, and I'm like, oh, that's a lot of stuff. So then I click on this little arrow. If I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that today. I'll do that one tomorrow. I'll do that one tomorrow. I push over all the things I'm gonna do till tomorrow, and I have just a list of what I have to do today. And I sit down and I bust those things out. And if I don't get done at the end, by the time I'm done here, if I'm not done, I just push arrows on all of them, so everything's moved to tomorrow. And then I'm done. Like I can go home. I've got 5 kids and a wife. I can go home, be present for them because my to-do list is done. And then at midnight, everything from tomorrow jumps over till today. I wake up in the morning, I look at it, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do that one. I push all the things I don't want to do away. I add the things I know I want to do, and I have a to-do list I actually have to go and do. And that's how I run my whole life. And everyone says, how do you get so much stuff done? It's because I just do what I have to do each day, and then I go home and I'm present because everything's done.
No, and I tell you, that's great. And it's just getting focused on those high priorities, getting them done, and tomorrow will come.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one, which is resources. And if one of our viewers, listeners wants to learn more about your, what you do and your resources, what website should they go to?
Probably the best two, .comsecrets.com is kind of our marketing consulting stuff. So all of my information on how we do funnels and traffic, everything can be found there. All of our everything. And if you want to know more about our software, clickfunnels.com is where you can get access to all of our software and kind of see what we're doing on that side of it. So those are the two core places.
Okay, let me just pull up ClickFunnels as well. This is, it's really amazing what you've been doing. And let me go to the last segment here and kind of pull it all together, which is the key takeaways. And I'm hoping everybody's gotten some key takeaways out of this, but let me go through some of my notes. Number one, Russell, it's no longer secret. We got a formula, and it's really who are you going to focus on? And this is something at least once a year, if not every day, you should be getting real clear who it is you're going to focus on. What is that? Russell calls it bait. Some people call it magnet. But what's that ethical bribe, that content that you're going to attract people to? That stream of traffic that Russell was talking about. How are you going to attract? Where's that stream? And then this is probably the most important part, and a lot of times we forget about it, but what are the results that we're going to get for them? And thinking about those in advance. And then the part I love, and this is something you can't do offline very easy. It's hugely expensive to try to hack funnels offline, but online, no problem. And Russell walked through. I'm going to encourage everybody, go to AS Nation. I will have the transcript will be a little later today, going to rev.com or the audio part of this, and they'll be typing it up so you can download it for free. You don't even have to pay the buck per minute, and go through the show notes, all the links, everything's going to be there for you. And really think through that process and pick one of the areas that you're working in and spend some time. And then building funnels, there are some great tools. And obviously Russell's got a great tool. He's been doing it for many years. And the feedback from I could tell you how great it is, but the feedback from the marketplace has just been phenomenal, the growth that he's having. And then, whether you use his tool or another tool, you got to use a tool. And the part I love, Russell, and I think there was a line you had in one of your promotions that even a CEO could do it, type thing. And that's what the beauty of today's technology is, that you don't need, a million different programmers to do it anymore. The world's changed. And then lastly, it's that traffic and being clear and use, some of the recommendations Russell had on traffic to go ahead and identify, who's spending what money where to get that stream coming to you. And I got to tell you, Russell, this has been great. I really enjoyed it. It's phenomenal. Everyone out there, go to asnation.com. This is one of those that you should share with people you care about too, your fellow entrepreneurs. But go ahead and share. The show notes are there. The transcript, as I said, is there. And your clients, and particularly all those future clients that you can get those results for, they're counting on you executing. So go make it happen. We wish you the best of success.
Exceptional, remarkable breakthroughs. aesnation.com.